Hey, what's going on, guys? Lag here. Thank you for joining me today for a Nioh 2 build video. Alright guys, in today's video I will be sharing with you all my katana build. This is my first katana build for the Dreamer Demon difficulty. And starting off, I'm sitting in the Honda clan this time around for this particular build. And the reason is due to the fact that my build so far is a lightweight build, roughly. So I wanted to kind of help out with some damage mitigation when I take that first hit. And also, you know, gives me a bit of extra skill damage on my attacks when I perform an active skill. Alright, so moving on, I'm going to go ahead and go to my stats. Alright guys, so starting off, these are my stats. Paying special attention to at least heart and skill. In terms of damage output, the sword scales off of these two skills very well. Heart, skill, and strength. But you mainly want to just focus on scaling heart and skill, in my opinion. And as far as magic and constitution goes, that was just for personal preference. Like I said, this is a lightweight build. And there are some things I like to point out that you can make better on this build before I get to my armor, is you can get your toughness up to at least 200. Just something I need to work on after I get done with this video. This is just a starter build anyway, like I said, so. And go ahead and move on to my armor. Actually, let me go ahead and show you guys my skills as well. Alright, so for my skills, basically I just have all my active skills unlocked. Nothing special really. I do have the new active skill called the Kurama sword dance, which is a really nice skill. Alright. Alright, so this is all personal preference as well too. If you decide that you want to leave certain things out, you know, do as you will. But I decided I wanted to do what I wanted to do with that, so. Alright, and moving on, we're going to start with my sword. So I did finally get my first 180 weapon. And I'm using the Sumidori, I guess that's how you say it. And with this particular sword, I'm running heart. Like I said, that scales with the katana. Shock, accumulation, active skill break, you know, the basics, nothing major. Alright. My second, I'm sorry, let me go back and show you guys what the bonuses are that I'm working with on this particular build. So for the Kurama Swordmaster set, this is a really good set in my opinion with all the particular bonuses you get for each piece. And I decided to just run with 5-piece bonus. And with that 5th piece bonus, you get an extra 15% on any yokai ability that's in Furo form. So basically, as you can see, I'm using a Phantom Spirit, but I'm using Furo Soul Cores. And I believe that scales with that bonus by them being in Furo form. So that's an extra 15% extra ability damage when I perform that yokai ability. Alright, and for the Beziton clan, which is my second grace I decided to work with for this particular setup. And this time around I'm running all 7 pieces instead of the 6-piece bonus like I did in my last build. And with that being the key recovery spree, I feel like that's pretty nice for sword users anyway. So as you guys may have noticed, I managed to pull off almost 45,000 on the QUICKDRAW on those particular yokai we're fighting. Well, that was being done with only one QUICKDRAW roll on my helm, and the other rolls I have on my build, I decided to just leave those with elemental weapon damage. And that was just for personal preference, but you could probably crank out a lot more damage if you just decide to roll all QUICKDRAW inheritables on your build. But that was personal preference for me, like I'll show you here in a moment. You know, my mask, I'm basically, I don't know where my QUICKDRAW is. It's not here for some reason. I'll take care of that after I get done with this video. But anyway, you want to make sure QUICKDRAW is on this piece. There's no conflicting rows on here, so you can get it on here. Alright. For my chest piece, I think I rolled for this chest piece for like about an hour or so. And I saw this star roll and I decided to just, you know, work with this. But you don't have to have active skill damage like I have here. If you want to just have QUICKDRAW, you know, do as you will. just make sure you don't roll active skill damage or elemental weapon damage, because you will not be able to use elemental weapon with QUICKDRAW. So it's only one or the other. So just choose carefully if you decide to do that. For my gloves, I'm running, like I said, I wanted to run with elemental weapon damage. Just the basic, basically. For all intents and purposes, I would say this though. The backside of using elemental weapon damage is you have to use a talisman or the Onibi core. But for the most part, you don't have to wear the Inari set to get the amount of elemental weapon damage I have so far on this specific on my build so far. I think that's in itself pretty good. You don't have to wear those pieces to get this. So, and here it is again. I'm running some more elemental weapon damage. I rolled for these pants and got a star roll of 8%. I didn't have a roll that I saw worthy to put on the very bottom, so that slot is empty for right now. Can't put any inheritables because of the elemental weapon roll. Alright. And for my boots, I'm using Mazitin. And at the bottom, like I said, I'm using elemental weapon again. So roughly I'm sitting at about 16 to 17% elemental weapon damage, which I think is pretty good. And like I said, the only backside is you have to have an elemental talisman running, or use the Oni B soul core to coat your weapon in the element to get that damage buff. So just bear that in mind. Alright. And this was all personal preference. I chose to run with elemental weapon damage. I chose not to use QUICKDRAW, so another thing I like to point out too, like I was saying earlier, so with this particular build, by my other pieces mainly being lightweight, you can definitely acquire agility A. What you will want to do is just make sure that these particular two pieces right here, like my gloves here and my boots, are at least lightweight. But these on my build are medium weight, so just make sure most of the armor is lightweight, so you can get agility A if you prefer to play like that. So, alright, I got really lucky with these charms. I have some really good charms. This is another gear set piece, the Seymour flute, and as you can see, I have 2 star rolls on here. I got, with one being melee damage when the enemy is out of key, and another being melee damage versus electrify enemies. So in other words, when the enemy is completely out of key, that's another 18% on top of what you're already doing. So I think that's a really nice bonus. And I finally got a Yasukani with a star roll as well, so decided to run with that. For my scroll of the daemon, I'm using increased attack on enemies that are out of key, and which will proc if you're not using Carnage Talisman. I'm using equipment drop rate. You can roll for something better than that. And I'm using active skill damage. Alright, and for my talismans, nothing major, just basics. One thing I would like to point out is you don't have to use Soul Purge on your build. You can, if you decide to try this out, Soul Purge in my case, I just like to use that to show the potential of the damage overall. So, alright, and going on with my soul cores, I'm using Blue Dragon as my guardian spirit. One thing you want to make sure you do is have at least 33 to 35 to be able to use all of the talents for this guardian spirit on your stamina or strength. Alright, so for my first core, I'm using the Peppo. Second core, I'm using Kazuki. And ideally, if you decide that you don't want to use talismans on your setup, if you decide to try this out, just make sure you're using the Onibi core. Because when you use the Onibi core ability, it will coat your weapon and you will get the elemental weapon damage buff without having to use talismans. But I chose to use Kasha, and these soul cores I'm using, I chose to use these, personal preference. So, all right, that's it. All right, guys, so that's about all. If you decide to try it out, let me know how it works for you. Any questions, leave in the comment section below. And I'm gonna go and get up out of here, and you guys be safe. Catch y'all later.